Coming up on Around San Diego, the federal government is back in business after President Trump signs a funding bill to end the longest shutdown in history. Details on the crucial vote and what this means for air travel and SNAP benefits. Plus, a falling piece from a eucalyptus tree kills a 4-year-old boy. Now his parents are working to make sure it never happens again. And it is the end of an era for one of San Diego's oldest eateries, the newest development for Las Cuatro Milpas in Barrio Logan. Hello to you and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us as we take you around San Diego. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day, and I'll get you caught up on our top stories so far, and we'll look ahead at what's to come around San Diego. Right now, the longest government shutdown in U.S. history is over. President Donald Trump signed a government funding package Wednesday night. It only funds the government through the end of January, but extends funding for SNAP benefits for a full year and reverses shutdown-related layoffs of federal workers. However, it does not include extensions to Affordable Care Act tax credits. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries vowed to introduce legislation to extend those tax credits for 3 years. Democrats say they will keep fighting, including North County Representative Mike Levin.
Back in my district, I've been here in D.C. almost every week. There's been nobody from the House Republican side to meet with. But what has been so clear to me is how this has hurt so many of my constituents, particularly as they get their health care bills for 2026.
So here is how San Diego's congressional representatives voted. All 4 local Democrats voted no. Republican Darrell Issa in the 48th district voted yes. Meantime, uncertainty remains around air travel. Flight reductions at major hubs, including San Diego, will remain at 6% reductions for the time being. Also, the Trump administration has said Americans receiving SNAP benefits in most states should get their full payment within 24 hours of the shutdown ending. Well, now to a case involving threats against Shoal Creek Elementary. It's led to real change in state law. The defendant in this case, Lee Lohr, sent hundreds of emails threatening to shoot up the school, but when first arrested in December of 2023, a judge threw out the case. That's because Lohr never mentioned a specific person, and back then the law required you to name someone. That loophole exposed by Lohr's case is now closed under SB 19. Representative Dr. Darshana Patel of Escondido was a driving force behind the new law.
This law is straightforward. If you threaten mass violence at a school, at a workplace, at a house of worship, at a healthcare facility, at a daycare, you have committed a crime. Even if you don't name a specific victim, the law is now clear.
So charges were refiled against Lohr, and a jury convicted him last month. He faces sentencing next week. And a San Diego family is suing the city after a day at the park turned deadly. 4-year-old Ronan Kerr was killed when a part of a massive eucalyptus tree came crashing down at a park in La Jolla back in June. His father, Cathal, and older brother were both there when it happened.
We're under some trees in the park, you know, just having a good time playing around, and all of a sudden there was a loud crack, and I heard people scream.
Just awful. Then he says he pushed his older son and another child out of the way, but he and Ronan were hit. The child was placed on life support but died a week later. The family claims the tree showed obvious signs of decay that were ignored. And San Diego County is paying nearly $500,000 to settle a lawsuit filed by Jane Dorotic. She spent almost 20 years in prison for her husband's murder before her conviction was overturned. Amid an ongoing appeal, she was released from custody in April of 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Then months after, her conviction was vacated based on new evidence. Prosecutors planned to retry her, but dropped the case in 2022, citing insufficient evidence. Dorotic sued about a year later, claiming a botched investigation. The county agreed to pay $499,000 without admitting any wrongdoing. Meantime, the woman at the center of an hours-long police chase from Los Angeles to the Mexico border remains in custody. The CHP says U.S. Customs officers arrested her as she re-entered the country at the San Ysidro port of entry. Authorities say the vehicle she was driving was stolen in Thousand Oaks. It stretched down the 405 to the 5, then to the 805. Police called off the pursuit as the car entered Mexico. The woman will be transferred to the Ventura County Sheriff's Department, which is leading the investigation, and charges, they tell us, are still pending. Well, it's the end of an era for one of San Diego's oldest eateries. Barrio Logan's Las Cuatro Milpas is closing as the property it sits on has been sold. It's been a rough year for the business. Unpaid taxes and health code violations forced temporary closures. But a constant line out the door shows the community's love for this restaurant, which is one of San Diego's oldest, opening back in 1933. Manuela Estudio's grandparents started it with $500. She was just 12 when she started working there.
100 years ago. And my grandfather used to work at the railroad track, 18 hours daily, so he could pay the property.
Yeah, it is good. County records show the owner of the neighboring Light of the World Church bought the building and one next door for $2.2 million this month. We have reached out for comment. Las Cuatro Milpas will stay open till the end of December. Still ahead, privacy concerns arise after a San Diego City committee vote on automated license plate readers. Plus, the uncertain future for a popular North County market as its owner faces possible deportation to Mexico after his immigration case was reopened. Welcome back. The future of a Leucadia business is now uncertain as an immigration case for the owner of Just Peachy Market looms. The owner is scheduled to appear in court on November 25th. Norberto Ambrosio Aguilar and his family have owned the business, they say, for almost 7 years. He was born in Oaxaca, Mexico, first came to the U.S. in 1990 as a teen, and remains in the U.S. on a work permit, which he typically renews every year. But now his case has been reopened and he faces being deported. He's hoping the judge grants him a pathway to a green card.
I live here more than I spent time in Mexico. I have more time here than there, so and if they grant that, I'll be so happy. But without that, my kids will continue with the business, and I will fight with something else.
We did reach out to the Department of Homeland Security. They referred us to the DOJ. We did contact them, but have yet to hear back. And despite concerns over privacy, San Diego's Public Safety Committee voted unanimously to continue allowing police to use those automated license plate readers. Supporters say they have helped lead to more than 420 arrests since the city first adopted this technology nearly 2 years ago. But critics are concerned the data collected could be shared with the federal government for immigration purposes.
And time again, it has proved to be not only an invasion of privacy, but also a tool to persecute our community members.
The automated license plate readers are a vital tool to help law enforcement solve crimes.
So it will go to the full city council for a vote next month. Meantime, Uber is rolling out a new feature in San Diego to give female riders some peace of mind. It's called Women Preferences, and it lets female riders and drivers be matched together. It comes in response to thousands of safety complaints Uber has received. When users open the app, they will notice an option to turn on the feature, which can also be used for reserving trips in advance. And if you feel like the wait time for a female driver is too long, then you can switch back for a faster pickup. People we talked with say they support the feature.
It is just a game changer. It's going to be great. I think more women will be comfortable going by themselves.
I think it'll just make you feel really safe if you're by yourself and just planning to get a ride somewhere. It's a little extra security.
Right now, about 1 in 5 Uber drivers in the U.S. are women, and Uber hopes this will also encourage more women to sign up to drive. And a direct ride from Oceanside to the gas lamp is on the horizon. CBS 8's Vanessa Paz shows us how a new coaster stop is giving you easier access to your favorite downtown hotspots in this On the Move report.
You no longer have to dream about a direct ride from the North County to the gas lamp because come 2027, it will be a reality.
We're getting closer to the start of construction on our new downtown platform that'll be located between 1st and 5th Avenue, right across from the convention center, real close to Petco Park.
Scott Schroyer, Director of Engineering with the North County Transit, says crews will break ground next spring with an 18-month construction timeline.
We did have a little bit of delay in the schedule just based on coordination with some of the other agencies that approved the project. Everything is in place and ready for us to be able to start.
The nearly 1,000-foot platform will sit just south of 1st Avenue on Harbor Drive, right in front of the convention center and steps away from Petco Park. Right now, the coaster's last stop downtown is the Santa Fe Depot near the Navy Pier, meaning riders heading to the ballpark or convention center have to hop off and either trolley, walk, or ride share.
We're really excited about being able to improve our service for the people that we serve and making it a much more convenient trip for all of North County and really all of San Diego to be able to get to some of the really popular attractions.
To make room for the new stop, this entire grass island will be removed and the trees relocated. Another track will also be added adjacent to this one on the northbound end of Harbor Drive.
This project will obviously increase its capacity by bringing the coaster down to the area. So the additional train that'll come about once an hour will increase the number of people that can take transit to get to downtown.
The project is powered by funding from California's Trade Corridor Enhancement Program and an agreement with BNSF Railway. Schroyer says once complete, the new stop will reduce road and trolley congestion, making it easier, faster, and greener for San Diegans.
And they say it's not just about convenience. North County Transit says new safety upgrades are coming for pedestrians and cyclists as well. We will keep you posted on every milestone. Vanessa, thanks. Well, now to an update on the Tijuana River Valley Community Garden. It will stay open after the county chose a new operator. Olivewood Gardens and Learning Center will serve as the interim operator for up to a year. This means the hundreds of people who use the garden can continue growing their crops without disruption. We previously had reported the garden was at risk of closing, at the end of November because the operator at the time said it would end management, citing health concerns from the ongoing Tijuana River sewage crisis and increased flooding. Again, it will stay open. Still ahead, the University of San Diego's Veterans Legal Clinic is for veterans by veterans. We'll take a look inside. Welcome back. The Marine Corps recognized its 250th birthday on Monday. Their legacy was celebrated at a special event at the San Diego Air and Space Museum there in Balboa Park. On November 10th, 1775, John Adams drafted a resolution that created what was then known as the Continental Marines. That day is now observed as the birth date of the branch. Monday's ceremony opened with a prayer and a blessing for all who have served. For Navy veteran and museum President Jim Kidrick, the day was a reminder that Marines are still standing watch all around the world.
Such a moving ceremony. The letter from the commandant, the 104-year-old veteran that was here, it was just tremendously moving for anybody that has any patriotic bone in their body.
Fleet Week San Diego had scheduled an event to mark this day, but it was canceled because of the government shutdown. Again, that has since ended. Tuesday also, of course, was Veterans Day. There were several Veterans Day events held all across the county. Ceremonies were held in San Marcos and Logan Heights, featuring various speakers and performances. The city of Escondido also held its annual Veterans Day parade, which included a brief march around Grape Day Park and a post-parade event with food trucks and live entertainment. Now, this comes as hundreds of thousands of veterans have their VA disability claims denied each year. But at USD's law school, veterans are helping veterans fight back for free. CBS 8's Abby Black takes us inside the legal clinic offering help in this On the Home Front report.
The University of San Diego's Veterans Legal Clinic is made up of law students, many of them vets themselves, that provide free legal service while gaining the skills to fight for those who served. This is for veterans by veterans.
He doesn't have any claims pending.
In a mock case, the team at USD's Veterans Legal Clinic discusses real issues facing vets seeking legal help.
This particular veteran suffers from PTSD and doesn't like to be interviewed in person, so he would prefer Zoom.
The team, 2 staff attorneys, a paralegal, and 6 law students, 3 of them veterans, specializes in VA disability appeals and military record corrections.
You know, the numbers have increased.
Professor and supervising attorney Allison Brown says calls have surged. Nonprofits lost federal funding and a wave of vets are retiring.
The process for even separating from the military is just as difficult as joining.
The VA reports nearly 36% of disability claims, that's about 864,000, are denied, often due to insufficient evidence or errors.
It's so meaningful to be able to see the veterans that we're assisting and hear the gratitude in their voice when a lot of them have given up hope.
Otto Lang served 4.5 years as a U.S. Navy supply officer. Now a second-year law student, he's learning every veteran's story is different.
The personalized experience that people have going through the military is typically what they internalize as everybody's experience. And working here at the Veterans Clinic, I've really come to realize that that's not the case.
That realization is shaping how he practices law.
And being able to get that hands-on, face-to-face interaction with clients is pretty rare this early on in my legal career.
Either Zoom or phone call.
Brown, a military spouse, says this is the only free veterans legal clinic of its kind in San Diego, a city with one of the nation's highest vet populations.
I think it's also probably puts the clients at ease because they feel like we are able to kind of get them and get their background in a way that you know, other attorneys might not.
For these veteran law students, the mission has not changed. They've served their country. Now they're serving those who served alongside them.
That is such an impactful way to help out the veterans community here in San Diego and across the U.S.
To learn more about the free USD Veterans Legal Clinic, go to CBS8.com. At USD, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Good stuff always, Abby, thanks. Still ahead, it might smell bad, but it's doing a lot of good. The surprising new role Seaweed is playing in climate innovation. Well, it is something that is often overlooked unless it washes ashore in mounds. So while stinky at times, seaweed can also be quite beautiful, and it can play a vital role in climate solutions. In this Earth 8 report, CBS 8's Neda Iranpour shows us why seaweed is now part of a new collection.
They're really big, they hardly fit on the page.
This is the new Ellen Browning Scripps Herbarium collection in the Smith Seaweed Ecology Lab at UC San Diego's Scripps Institution of Oceanography.
We can press them as juveniles, we can press them as adults.
Thousands of seaweeds are pressed, labeled, stored, and digitized.
So it's kind of like a library of seaweed pressings, and I'm the librarian.
For postdoctoral scholar Adi Ken and professor and marine ecologist Jennifer Smith, this collection holds the answers to much of the planet's mysteries.
We have over 5,000 specimens, and these represent nearly 300 species of native and non-native seaweeds found. They can serve as a climate solution. They actually provide hope to a lot of us who feel discouraged by the climate crisis.
And here's how.
They provide food and shelter. They form habitats for marine life. They support biodiversity.
Because these seaweeds have such high photosynthetic rates, they can suck up that carbon dioxide.
So you just arrange the specimen on a sheet of mounting paper.
Pressing is an ancient art form that still holds today.
Gradually apply pressures. These pressings can last for hundreds of years. We have some seaweed pressings that our founder, Ellen Browning Scripps, the woman that basically started this institution, pressed back in the 1800s.
And when we have collections spanning decades or centuries, we can see how seaweed communities have changed over time, whether new species have come in.
And they're seeing the change in our oceans now.
All you have to do is put on a mask and go for a snorkel right here in San Diego, and you will be amazed by the just immense amount of color, diversity, texture, shape, size of the plants that live underwater. It's the spectacular three-dimensionality, the structure that you see.
Thanks to our nutrient-rich water, the kelp forms massive canopies, some growing as tall as redwoods, reaching more than 100 feet. It is the fastest-growing multicellular organism in the ocean and can grow up to 2 feet a day, but it hasn't always been appreciated.
So a lot of historic collections like this are kind of a dying form of science. A lot of herbarium collections around the world have lost funding. and therefore these specimens just end up in a cabinet somewhere kind of collecting dust.
Now, thanks to a growing interest in seaweed because of its potential in sustainability, these scientists want their data on this marine algae to be readily available for researchers and artists alike.
And if you'd like to take a look at all the specimens, everything in the herbarium is posted there online. It really is just absolutely beautiful. We have more information on CBS8.com. Well, now to a new era for women in San Diego, thanks to a $1 million donation. The Center for Women's History is opening in Balboa Park. It was formed after the Women's Museum of California merged with the San Diego History Center. A new $1 million donation will create a permanent gallery to tell women's history at the San Diego History Center in Balboa Park. Well, a new trial adoption program at the San Diego Humane Society is giving potential pet owners a test run. The program bridges the gap between fostering and adopting, letting people take home an animal for up to 14 days to see if it's a good fit. Dogs, cats, guinea pigs, bunnies, even bearded dragons are available. Nothing over 7 months old is off limits. All pets come spayed or neutered, vaccinated, and microchipped. If it works out, you have found your forever pet. If not, then you can return the animal with no questions asked. Since the Humane Society has more than 1,500 animals in its care right now, officials hope this program will help find homes for those hundreds of animals in need. Before we leave you, those northern lights seen across the U.S. were even seen here in San Diego County, not by me, but I certainly tried. This here is in Mount Laguna. The pictures taken by a local scientist and photographer, Chuck Hauser, on Tuesday night. The aurora borealis is caused when charged particles from the sun, also known as solar wind, reach Earth's atmosphere and then interact with our magnetic field. Obviously, the further south, it does get a little harder and you need a lot, very little light pollution, but boy, I did try, and I know many of you did as well. They are so spectacular. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.